ChatGPT 4.0 image generation is one of the latest features of generative AI. And you might have seen these Ghibli images and the miniature sets that people are doing. But I was wondering, can it do more? Can it create content for your brand based on the photography, styles, fonts, and colors? Because as business owners, we need these kind of images regularly. We need brand and marketing material for our regular content production. Of course, we have Canva. I am not giving up on Canva. It's still the rock star. But can ChatGPT also do it? And if yes, then how much? So I ran a few experiments, and that's what I will share with you in this video. I will show you the inputs I gave it with prompts and references, the output it gave me, my evaluation of what I think of it, the complete chat where I created these images, what ChatGPT 4.0 image is doing well and what not yet, and who should use ChatGPT for image creation. So let's dive in. To go through the experiments, I'm going to refer to my carousel that I created for LinkedIn. You can see it over here. And that, of course, is my nice Ghibli image. And I just want to take I just think it's more structured if I take you through that like the way I put it on LinkedIn. So you can see step by step what happened. So this is what I first said. That is, of course, they're great at Ghibli, but can it create content for your brand? I gave it reference content, I gave it my brand style, and I gave prompts. Okay. First, we look at brand images. Now, for my website, I don't really have a lot of photographs. So I have more like, graphics and landing pages and digital markups, but I don't really have like photography per se. My pictures are just pictures, just like a few pictures I have of myself, like headshots. But I don't really have images. But I wanted to check about how much ChatGPT can create the images. So I gave it examples like Patagonia. So I put these two screenshots of the brand content references. And first, I asked ChatGPT, what kind of images do you think they are? It gave me an analysis of what type of images these are. And I said, can you suggest more images like this? And it gave me a few options. And I took two from them. And I gave these prompts back to ChatGPT. So first I said, what are these images and what other photos can you create that are similar? It gave me some options and I gave it back these two, yoga at sunrise and road trip vibes. And I asked it to create images like this. So in terms of matching the style and photography and image, that is bang on. I would not know this is done by ChatGPT. And it's not just that, like, the hands are not, all crazy and three hands coming out from somewhere. And it really looks like good photography, it's good quality, good style, good perspective. So in terms of creating a good photographic shot, it's superb. Maybe what it did not match is, in terms of like these references look a bit like, edgy, like she's on the edge somewhere, or he's on a mountain. That is not there, but that I did not ask for that anyway. I just asked for the style of the pictures. And that's what it was able to generate. Next, I gave it Audi. So I went to the Audi website and I saw that this is the latest model. This is the new Audi A6 Avant. Create a similar image of the car, but driving on a highway in the mountains next to the sea. And while I am not the car manufacturer, so I cannot tell you if the car is exactly the reference that I gave it, but it could look pretty similar, right? So like an Audi or A6 expert could tell you this is not the car. But if I just zoom in, and this is where I can also show you the details of it. So if this is the car, right? And here, I think it did not get everything right. Maybe this part, I'm not sure. But it's pretty accurate. And you can zoom in and see the details of these pictures. That's pretty amazing. It does look like a studio shot with the car, looks very perfect and all, but that's how these images look as well. So it really matched the style and it matched the car. So that is pretty impressive. Like, I don't need these kind of images, but the fact that it can do this is really awesome for me. And then I went on to brand and marketing material. This is where I experimented most with my brand, except for one, like an online banner, which I don't have. So I experimented with a different brand, but mostly I experimented with my brand. And I gave these references. So that's like my landing page, like my hero section of a landing page. This is my website screenshot. So I just gave this to ChatGPT and as to maintain these references throughout while creating the images. Maybe I should have included that prompt here. Now, I asked ChatGPT, like, if I were to create a social media ad for my business, what would it be? And then it gave me the whole prompt. Then I took this prompt, which was completely generated by ChatGPT, and I put it back. And then this is the image that it generated. And this is the ad that it generated. It is a carousel ad, so it's like got 4 steps to it. But the copy was written completely by ChatGPT. And in this case, I am pretty amazed with how it can do with text. Like I saw some other images before when people were sharing their experiments with ChatGPT. And I saw, okay, that's pretty cool, that it can do like little lines of text. But here it goes into details. There is no spelling mistake. It's perfectly aligned and formatted. It generates intuitively the understanding of what the ad is about and creates it. So, for example, some things are maybe not right, like this workbook is not great and the clarity is like olarity, but more or less it gets it. The next one was my carousel cover, which is actually the same carousel cover that I showed you right now. So first I asked it to create a Ghibli avatar, which is what it created. Then I gave it a brand reference or like a carousel cover from a previous carousel. But I asked it to change the font and to make it a thin font. And then I gave this, create a carousel cover of 1350, use my Ghibli avatar on the bottom left without the pink background, like a cutout. And I think later, the carousel cover should look and feel the same as the image I'm attaching. Change the text to creating brand content with ChatGPT 4 image, and it just created it. I'm not exactly sure what these icons are doing here, but this one, it got accurate. And it even had an image of me pointing like that to the text, so it's kind of actually pointing outside. But, later on, I was able to generate an image which pointed directly to the image, to the image. Let me see actually where it is. So yeah, and this is what it was able to create. So pretty cool, huh? All right. And it gave me 2 options here, by the way. I could just choose between those 2. But as you see that I did not completely take this cover. I just wanted to see if they can do it. But then I took the image, the Ghibli image, and I did my own cover in Canva. The digital product mockup, I said, okay, I want to have a digital product mockup for my AI brand content system. So create this mockup. This is a mockup reference. This is how I want it to look. And then I asked, actually, I did not include that here, but I asked ChatGPT to give me examples of what are the resources I can add in this product. So it gave me a list. I chose a few, and then I gave it back to ChatGPT saying, create a mockup like this, blue digital product, but use the following information. Replace the names of the resources in the mockup with these. Just a whole lot of details on what it should create. By the way, if you want access to this Canva file and you want to get the exact prompts and see the exact things that I did, then comment in the video below and I will just send it to you. I didn't put it here right now because I'm not sure if everybody would want it. But if you would like to see the prompts and copy it, then just let me know. This is the kind of style I use on my blog post featured images because I don't always use like the purple and the black and the bold pink. This is what I was using before. And I have not changed it. Shame on me. I should be doing that very soon. But I haven't changed it yet. But I just gave the reference anyway, because so far it was doing for a different brand image, right? It was doing for a different look and feel with the dark black and bold pink. And now it's like a soft white, gray, purple. So it looks like a little bit of a different brand. Again, which is on me. I should be changing that soon. But I just wanted to try it anyway to see if it does, right? And then I gave it here, use the references of the blog post featured images and create a similar featured image for the topic, how to repurpose content with AI. And then I said that, okay, the image size should be this and the graphic should not make up more than 25 to 30% because I don't want it to cover the whole thing. I think this is more like kind of 50%, maybe I would say, but it still looks okay because, there's a lot of white space and, maybe this should have been centrally like middle aligned, but yeah, it still works, This is the Instagram quote post. And I said, I'm giving you my website landing page look and feel, maintain the colors. Based on that, create an Instagram post with this code. If you're not a brand, your commodity, and blah, blah, blah. Suggest 2 options, one with black and one with white background. Don't include any people. And this is just what it created. So maybe this one, the pink could have been a little bit bolder, but that's just me being picky. It was able to generate a lot of it quite well. I would actually use this. Maybe the white one is a little bit everywhere. Like I don't know where to focus and there's too many elements, but this one is pretty neat. Infographic. And I wanted to create an infographic, right? Now, if you know how I work, then you know that I use my own brand AI to generate all my content. I train my brand AI on, which is a both in custom GPT brand, which is both a trained custom GPT and a cloud project to with the workflows and brand elements and structure of posts and what I want to say and my story and my content and my belief system and everything. It has like everything. So creating content and coming up with an idea is pretty easy there. So I told my brand AI to suggest like a good title for an infographic, and it came up with this: how to build a brand with AI. Okay, good. Like it's a simple infographic. And then I asked ChatGPT, if I were to generate an infographic for this, give me the prompt. So it gave me the prompt. So I did not create this prompt. It gave me the prompt, and I put the prompt back in ChatGPT, and it created this image. So how to build a brand with AI, it gets the colors right, it gets the content right, mostly the spellings, the formatting, the structure, the icons. I think it gets pretty much everything right. The only thing, of course, I would not publish AI content like that. I mean, generally, unless it's an image or something, like written content, I prefer to do my own edits, and I cannot do it here because it's an image, right? And that is the reason why I also think tools like Canva is still very important. Of course, this presentation I'm doing with Canva. It's pretty important. So I would definitely use Canva, but if ChatGPT let me edit the copy, maybe I would give it a try, right? Okay. Presentation template, I was not very happy with this one. So I also asked it to give me a prompt, and I gave it the prompt and I put it back in, and it writes all the copy. I did not write any single copy here. So it created it by itself. I think it got my logo right, kind of. I wasn't really happy with this output, but overall, I think, it captured the the style and the white and the black and the pink. It got it, just not what I would use. But that's just me. It got the style right. Then it was the newsletter template, and this one it was not being able to get right. So I said I had to give it an example, and I said because it was just doing like a flyer newsletter, and I wanted multiple pieces of content, but somehow it did not get that. So I gave it a reference like this, and I said, okay, create a create a newsletter like this with multiple pieces of content, something that I can add here and here. And yeah, it's still talking about a AI content planning kit, which is not what I wanted to talk about, but it at least has like a templatey look where you can have different kind of images on different sides. So that's pretty nice. I think what I would use it for is to create some like mock-ups and templates and examples. Like maybe I would use it for ideas, and then I would like recreate them in Canva, or I would just give it to my designer and ask her to recreate it in Canva. But I think it's great to get some different ideas to see how ChatGPT is looking at adapting of templates to my brand. And this one was a flyer. Again, I asked ChatGPT for the prompt. It gave me the prompt. I just put it back in, and it created everything. This one, it got pretty accurate. I think it's quite similar to my logo. Tell me, what do you guys think? But I think if I look at it, it's quite similar. It kind of got it. Yeah. Okay. So, and the last one that I did, so yeah, this one was pretty okay. I liked how it shows the tablet, with the little shadow, and I like it. I would say I like it. Just for inspiration and open up your possibilities. And the last one I did, which is not again my brand, as I said, it's an online banner. So I took an online banner from McDonald's, and I wanted to recreate this exact kind of look and feel for a different product. So because they have burgers, and this year I said, okay, let's do milkshakes. So then I gave this prompt to ChatGPT saying, create another online banner for McDonald's in the same size and style, but replace both the visuals and text with milkshakes, also for the summer. Make it delicious looking, change the copy entirely to suit milkshake. So now it did not get the exact size right, but yeah. But it copied the format. So I think even the font is not correct, but otherwise it has the headline, it has the emojis, then it has the text over here. It even has the scroll buttons, discover more, discover more. It missed the exclamation point here. And it got the style right. So I asked for a teal kind of aqua kind of background and make it look delicious. And I think and I gave it the flavors, chocolate, vanilla, and chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. So yeah, I think it did a very good job of it. So what's my evaluation after having used it to create on-brand content? I think it's a game changer, really. If you are creating your own content and you don't have designers to help you, then creating images with ChatGPT is really going to simplify your life. You might need to tweak the prompts a little bit, just play around with them, but you can get the exact output. There are only 3 things that might hold you back from using ChatGPT for your brand content right now. The first is the face images are not great yet. So if you're building a personal brand and you need a lot of images with your face on them, that's a little bit difficult. Secondly is that it takes a bit of time to generate the images. And the third one is that, of course, you cannot edit the visuals. It comes as a full image. Let's look at my experiments and dig into these a little. I gave it multiple images of my face and I asked it to put it in a product or put it on a landing page or something. And it was not just able to do it completely. I tried video thumbnails also, because in thumbnails, I always use my own images. And I tried to create one with ChatGPT, but it was not great. So I'm going to share the chat with you where you will see everything that I created over here, right? So this was my blog post featured image that I showed you. I did a few tweaks and then I got it because basically first it put it with the copy, with the text, and I didn't want it. So I just put it like that. Then I said, okay, these are the kind of images I want to create. And then I gave it my reference and create this. I gave this and I said, create this. And yeah, it was not able to do that. I tried multiple options. These do not look like me. Ghibli was okay. This is the image that I showed you as well. First, I gave it a digital product mockup like this, but it was not really able to get to where I wanted it to get to. So then I gave it the attached reference that I showed earlier, and then it was about to get it. I ran into a bit of a snafu with this one because I said, okay, I want to create an image like this. I want to create a video like this. I want to create a thumbnail like this for my video. But then it got into copyright issues because, this guy is, someone, it looks like I'm copying him and I'm taking his image, but I'm not. Then it got a little bit confused. Then I took my own ones and I said, can you put it like that? Can you make it like top AI brand content tools? And I kind of did that, but whoever this is not me. So it wasn't able to get that right. I tried multiple times to do the face images, but it was really not nice. You see, I did not give up. And then I just went into creating the carousel. So first I did it with my image. It was not working. Then I gave it the Ghibli and then it created it. So, yeah, I seem to have lost my other chats for the other images for the infographics, but you get the point. So the key thing is that sometimes you have to play around with the prompts a little bit. The time that it takes is to create that image because you have to put in the prompt and then you have to wait because if you switch windows and also it doesn't happen. So that's just time consuming. It's not like as fast as Canva. You take a template, you change a few things, and then you're done. So it does take a little bit of time. But yeah, this should improve. Like when I first started working with DeepSeek, for example, that was also quite time-taking and it could not handle so much requests. But now it can do it much faster. So it's going to get better. The time part is going to get better. The face part, I'm not sure yet. So should you use ChatGPT 4.0 images for your content? Well, if you're not a designer and you need quick branded visuals that don't have any faces in it, and it's more graphic and it just needs to adapt colors, fonts, and style, then definitely ChatGPT 4.0 image creation is going to be great. But if you need more customized visuals and you need to edit them and you need to change some things, tweak some things, then you're still better off with Canva. You can use ChatGPT 4.0 images for inspiration, for getting ideas, for seeing possibilities and seeing how AI adapts a template or a reference to something else. But for complete creation and publishing it like it is, not yet. Canva is still good for that. If you want to create ChatGPT content for your brand, then check out my next video where I share how I save up to 70% of time creating content with ChatGPT for my brand on a regular basis. If the video is already published, you'll see the thumbnail here. Otherwise, hit subscribe and you will be notified when it's published.